Now, many of you will know that we've been going through or undergoing the tariffs that President Trump just imposed on South Africa last week. South Africa, together with some of the other countries, were heavily hit with massive tariffs, and this is based off what President Trump is saying. There's been some trade deficits, or there's been some huge deficits between the countries that America is doing trade with, including our very own, who, by the way, if you still don't know, were hit by a 30% tariff hike, which that comes over and above or on top of the 10% tariff which Trump imposed, which kicked in from the 2nd of April. Now, this is something that is not good. Obviously, a lot of countries are not liking this. They are fuming and they want to. Some of them have started retaliating back into the United States of America, but our very own South Africa has not done anything. But one thing that obviously we read from the Minister of Trade Enterprise, Minister of International Relations, Pakstow, and Ronald Lamola, they both said that, look, they need to properly do an analysis onto these tariffs. They don't just want to jump off and respond or retaliate without doing proper analysis on this matter. This is the very same thing that our President Ramaphosa said. In fact, I will play you a video of our President Ramaphosa saying or talking the same language that our two ministers I mentioned were saying, and that is, they don't want to just take harsh decisions, especially also seeing that other countries have started responding back with the same tariffs. You will know that China did not even waste time. The following day, they imposed back the same tariff onto all United States exports going into China. But South Africa has not done anything. Can this, to some citizens or to some South Africans, it is appearing that our government is weak, but obviously I suppose we've got much to lose, right? And that's why we must play our cards right. Since beginning of this year, February, we're hit with a sanction, which then was followed by the suspension of the PEFA aid, followed by suspension of a funding or the energy funding, or equating to $1 billion, which was supposed to come to South Africa. The United States of America has closed off completely the support coming to South Africa, and this, though it was painful at first, but it taught our government, it taught South Africa something very important, and that is, we must learn to stand by ourselves. We must try to also find alternatives if things are not going well with, of course, the United States of America. One of the biggest things, this was even said by the Trump administrator, even by Trump himself, one thing that is leading us to get burned like this is because we are close with China. Our relations with China are good, and the United States of America does not want to associate themselves with a country that is friends with China. That's one of the things that is making us to be punished the way we are. That's another thing that is making most of our deals with the US to be cut off. The only deal or good deal that we have with the United States of America, it's AGOA, and apparently sometime in September it is up for renewal, and whether the United States of America is going to renew AGOA or not, that remains a very important question. But we'll wait, we'll see. We just hope that by that time things have eased, things have calmed down, and we can still get to benefit from AGOA, because look, AGOA it's a very good deal for both South Africa and the United States of America, because under that deal there are the exports that qualify to fall under that deal, they get to be exported into the United States of America, and the United States of America is able to export some of their products into South Africa without paying duties and all that, which is a very good deal. South Africa, as it stands, I think by AGOA alone, they are benefiting, or their total number of exports is over $3 billion, which shows you that obviously South Africa is really benefiting from this. Even the United States of America, equally, they are also benefiting from this. Because of this AGOA, or this trade deal AGOA, the United States of America, if you check from 2003 to 2023, their exports under AGOA grew by over 1,000%, whereas our exports under AGOA grew by 497%, which this simply means that because of this trade, our exports, or our two-way trade between United States of America and South Africa has improved so well, right? Which is so good, which is something that is to be taken into cognizance, right? Which is why I think South Africa don't just want to react and retaliate, but rather they want to assess and see what can happen next. This is what is taking place. This is what the president even stressed yesterday, so that they won't panic, they will take a chill pill, they will relax, they will find, or they will try to analyze this whole situation, how it affects or have an impact into South Africa. Then they will respond if needs be, but if not, they are not going to do anything, right? South Africa, I think our leadership, in as much as people sometimes will have their other opinions about them, I think this is rather a good way to handle stuff or to handle situation. I mean, even on personal experience, right? Responding without doing proper analysis or responding before without proper thinking, it always leads into trouble, right? And therefore, this approach by the president of South Africa and his cabinet, I think it's a good one. This just happened last week on Thursday. There are some proper research, proper analysis that needs to be done. And this, my friends, it's something that, of course, we need to listen, we need to wait and see what happens next. They will tell us, they will give us update, I presume, because it's important to know what South Africa's take onto this matter, what South Africa's take on the trade between the United States of America and us, South Africa, right? That's very important, and that's what we need to always have at the back of our minds. I will say this again, South Africa benefits more. On our two-way trade, you'll know that South Africa generates like, $14 billion annually. That's the United States of America, from their exports, they are generating like $7-8 billion. So there's a lot at stake, and there are lots of jobs at stake. So how we retaliate will be very important, because at the end of the day, we don't want to be reckless that in a way that leads us into losing that AGOA deal. In as much as, yes, AGOA deal is not, it's a deal that, of course, is benefiting a majority of the people that took us to the White House and report our matters. That deal has created jobs. That deal is doing the most for South Africa, right? And it's important that that deal remains. So let's do whatever we can. Let's try to make sure that there is peace. I think this approach but by the government, it's a very good one. I will see you on the next one. Tell me what you think about this. Just thought I'd give you this quick update. Obviously, I request you to, if you like this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time I drop a new content by YouTube here. You will know that on this channel I do daily content, and obviously all I ask, if you are enjoying the content, the news that I give you daily, hit that likes button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. I'll see you on the next one, and God bless you all.
And as regards the United States, like any other country, is a sovereign country, and they are entitled to take decisions in whichever way they want to, like ourselves. We are a sovereign country, and we can decide on any matter that has to do with our international dealings with others. And so it is within our right, as it is within their right. They have imposed tariffs, and we are examining the impact of those tariffs on us. And as the Minister of Trade and Industry and Competition said, we will be able to state what our position is. So in the end, these are matters that we are going to continue dealing with in a very responsible and very, very proper manner. And we are not a government that will just act out of spite, and we are not a government that will act out of emotions. Everything that we do, we examine very carefully and look at the implications and the impact. So that is exactly what we are going to do.